let us once again take a look at the wonderful opinions that human beings have on the internet in relation to fish and fishing, and talk it through from a scientific perspective, or maybe a biased perspective. Who knows? I'm not innocent from being biased about topics on the internet. The first one that we have on Change My View today is that getting rid of the plastic straw to help the turtles is just a cover-up for the much bigger issue of coastal development. AKA, use your plastic straws, forget about anything else. Don't have data, maybe easy to change my mind. Plastic debris killing turtles, it's an easy scapegoat. The destruction of turtle nesting areas and coastal development in places like Hawaii is destroying the breeding grounds. Few things being done to protect the nesting ground of turtles, but it's posed as much smaller issue than get metal straws save environment, when it really just strokes our egos and is not as important. Paper straws do suck. They really do. As an environmental advocate, the paper straws really just are not good. All right, let's talk about recycling. All right, chat, this is where I'm going to have to come down and break your heart. If you're under the age of 14, you should probably tune out, because this is like being told that Santa Claus is not real. So recycling's not super real, and the stopping of plastic pollution is also like vaguely not real. It is a problem, but the extent to which the problem is presented far outweighs the extent to which the problem actually exists. In reality, the majority of pollution is done by corporations. It's done by factories and places like that. And the giant source of microplastics, like the biggest source of plastics in general, is car tires. So between corporations and car tires, we have probably I can't give you a percentage, but a vast majority of the pollution that affects the ecosystems around us. Our everyday plastic use as citizens, and I know it doesn't make sense to compare a single person to a corporation, but even if you compare everyone in your neighborhood, everyone who lives in your town, if you compare them to like one little factory that makes something, or like the amount of degradation of car tires on like a public highway that gets run off into the ocean, it's not even comparable. Your impact is not only small, and like obviously it's small, right? You're one person. No, whatever you think your impact is by like recycling and reducing your usage of plastic, it is probably hundreds of times smaller than what you actually think it is. So just keep that in mind for the future. That's not to say that you don't have an impact. It's not to say that plastic isn't bad. There are reasons that plastic bans exist. I think plastic bags are just overall unnecessary, and we're doing, I don't know. It seems to be a good step. Like in New Jersey, you can't get a plastic bag. The straw thing, it's like, yes, it is an impact, but the impact is hundreds of times less so than what it is so advertised as. For these big corporations, they really like to try to push this whole like recycling green idea, where they're encouraging consumers to do anti-pollution things, when in reality then they are the ones doing the pollution things. But like it's not necessarily they're trying to place the blame on you, but it's trying to make it so that you feel like you're having an impact, so you're less likely to look into what's actually happening, because then you blame your fellow person, right? If you don't use plastic straws and you hear that there's a problem with plastic, and you're doing all this, well, you're like, well, why isn't everybody else? And you start encouraging other people instead of looking at the actual sources of the plastic. So it is a big issue. And one of the funny things I've seen before, I don't know if the tweet, Ghost Boy, if you could find this tweet, I'm sure it's present on the internet. It's like Exxon or Gulf. Who was the one who had the giant oil spill? Is Exxon, right? They had a tweet where they were like, what are you willing to pledge to do in the next year to reduce your carbon footprint? Or BP, it was BP, yeah. What are you looking to do to pledge? What are you willing to pledge to reduce your carbon footprint through the next year? And all the replies on Twitter were like, I pledge not to spill 18 billion barrels of oil into the Atlantic Ocean. It was like, oh, yeah, you kind of got shit on for that. But that, I mean, the fact that someone at a corporation thought that they could post that poll and that people would respond to it positively shows you like what their strategy is and just how deluded they are. That has changed my mind, number one. If you have opinions, let me know. Hi, AVNJ from the past here. I never really talk about this, but Did you know that all of the content that I make on YouTube is streamed live on twitch.tv/AVNJ official? No, seriously, like basically every video I post is live streamed. So you should go watch and support me there, because I also do tons of other stuff that doesn't end up on YouTube, like gaming and speedrunning and other fun stuff like that. Dude, this chair is so wobbly. Is the leg giving out? Also, if you're looking to help support me make better content and more sustainable content in the future, please check out my Patreon. It's $5 a month. It's fairly easy if you like the content, and it helps me out a ton. Enjoy. Change my mind, number 2. This is a stupid one. Sturgeon are the scariest freshwater fish. Okay. Sturgeon are big. Yes. They do have sharp scales, but they're defensive. They have sucker mouths. What could possibly be scary about a sucker mouth? You're gonna say this is the scary? Yeah, I've picked up a sturgeon and thrown it into the ocean, like a basically full-grown one. Blood has never seen a tigerfish. Do you guys think tigerfish are the most scary freshwater fish? Muskie? No. Well, muskie are pretty... I wouldn't want to be around a muskie in the wrong environment, like with something shiny on me or something. Certainly scarier than wait, piranhas. I don't even believe piranhas are scary, but piranhas exist. Everyone considers piranhas to be scary. And what about freshwater sharks or Wells catfish that can eat you whole, or Goliath tigerfish? Yeah, arapaima not frequently, but arapaima kill people by in small ponds. Alligator gar, not even remotely scary. Gar, 0 scares for me. Wells catfish kind of got a sturgeon mouth though? No, they don't. Sturgeon have little sucker mouths like this wide that go like this, downwards. Wells catfish have gigantic forward-facing mouths. Is there any venomous freshwater fish like a stonefish? I think so. Oh wait, yeah. In North America, there's mad toms, the small catfish genus. Aren't you from Maine, Fat Monkey Balls? Oh, you don't have mad toms, I don't think. But you have mad toms close by. Little catfish in the streams with venom in their barbs. It's not that bad, Fat Monkey Balls. Oh, and there's freshwater stonefish too. Of course there is. Anyways, sturgeon are not the scariest fish. You're dumb. All right, that's Change My View video number 1.